All right, we are live.
Yay!
Hi, everybody. Let's give a couple minutes for everyone to get on here. Welcome to our purse strings group. Today we'll have Lingo. So I'll just give a couple minutes for everyone to jump on this Thursday afternoon for me.
Morning here.
Linda, where are you located?
I'm up in Oregon.
Oh, okay, awesome. Well, we got some people jumping on here. It's going to be great. We're so excited for our first Facebook Live today. We'll just wait a couple minutes for a couple more people to jump on and we'll get started. Yep, so we'll be having these every Thursday at noon Central or wherever you are this time. So we got some people checking in here. How great.
Do you know their names? Do you see who they are?
Some of them, it depends. Since Yardstream is a bit different, you do have to give access if you want your name. Otherwise, I do see one that just says Facebook user.
I got it. Nice.
Yeah.
Shout out. Who's here?
We got going on. We got a couple more people jumping on to get started. Should we do this thing?
Sure.
Yeah, let's kick
Yeah. So
Facebook Live.
very excited to get our first Facebook Live going. Welcome to our new Facebook group that we are getting started. Purse Strings has built around the mission that we want all women to feel confident and competent when making their financial decisions. And so Purse Strings is really here for that. We hear so many women say, I was never taught these things, or we didn't talk about money in my house. A lot of women would rather talk about their own death than money. So, we want to make this, the great safe spot that we can talk about money. We can learn all these great things. So on these Facebook Lives, we are never selling anything. We are never pushing a product. We don't sell a product. We just want everyone to gain some great education. And on the other side, Purse Strings offers a whole list of vetted professionals that are really ready to earn the female dollar and are really there for you. So if you need different professionals from Linda, who's a money coach, or we have other people who have insurance or different topics about let's think. We got some attorneys coming on or real estate. We have a whole team of professionals who are here and ready to serve you. So Purse Strings is we're your go-to source. So tell your friends, tell your girlfriends. All these people are people that, I would recommend to my girlfriends or sisters or whoever else. But today, on this wonderful Thursday, we have Lingo. And so Linda is a money coach and brings breadth and depth of experience and education to each of her coaching clients. She inspires and guides women into clarity and confidence with their money. And her compassion, her empathy, and her excellent listening skills set her apart for being a money coach. So Linda will share more of her story, and then we'll get into our topic today. So Linda, let's take it away.
Well, thank you very much, Maggie, and thank you, Barb, for asking me to be on your first one. I feel a little pressure. I want to make sure it goes really well.
I'm sure it will.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you. I'll fill in a little bit as far as my background. So I am a money coach. I want to tell you a little bit about how I got here. So first, I'll start with my education. I am a CPA, and I have an MBA in finance. So I have over, I hate to say it, but over like 35 years experience in accounting and finance. I actually started out as a commercial loan officer for Bank of America a very long time ago. And once I got my CPA certificate, I went to work for Ernst & Young, another, rather large CPA firm. And I worked my way up. I came in as an entry-level person, worked my way up to senior manager. Next position would have been partner. It was a great experience. I was there almost 10 years. And got, like I said, great experience. Decided to go into industry and got a division controller position with a little company called Pfizer Pharmaceuticals. One you're all familiar with now, given the vaccine rollouts that we're hoping for or seeing right now. Anyway, another great company to work for. Loved it. Gave me experience to Wall Street and to working with a board of directors. And so that was great experience. Then I took a little time off for my second child, who I had late in life. She is actually my social media marketing. So I want to thank Lauren for being on and supporting and working with me. And then I decided, well, actually, I had a really bad experience with my financial advisor. And that is what made me decide to be a financial advisor. I came out of that meeting and I thought, I never want to have another woman have such a bad experience of feeling stupid, shamed, guilt, judged, because I was asking questions about my investments. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm a smart woman. I have an MBA in finance. I'm a CPA. You know, I have dealt with Wall Street. I have dealt with so many accounting clients, and yet he could not explain my investments in a way that made sense to me. And so that made me decide to go get licensed. And I did. I got licensed and I went to work for Edward Jones at the age of 49. So it's never too late to start a new career. I loved it. It was probably, next to financial coaching or money coaching, it was probably the best job I've ever had. And it wasn't a job, it was a career. It was also the hardest thing I've ever done. But it was so rewarding. I worked with over 500 households and I built the business from 0 to 50 million. And it was so rewarding because I was helping people reach their financial goals. But one thing I found out while I was doing that was financial advisors do not get paid to educate. They get paid to help clients with their investments, but they do not get paid to educate. And I love educating. I love helping women understand what they're doing so they can make informed decisions. And after 10 years as a financial advisor, I decided to go out on my own and be a financial coach or a money coach. A financial coach and a money coach, it's the same thing. It's so don't get caught up on one or the other. But I actually want to, so that's a little bit about me. I guess, personally, so let me share just two seconds of personal. I am the mother of two. I have 3 wonderful grandchildren. I love to be outdoors. I love to go walking, hiking. I love to travel. That's one of my passions. And if you look at any of my posts, you'll see a lot of travel pictures. One of the best things I did last year was I went glamping. I don't know if you've ever glamped, but I highly recommend it. It's like wonderful. It's my idea of camping. Anyway, and then I love flowers. I love gardening, and I love to read, and everything about wine. I guess that's my one vice. I love a great glass of wine. So enough about me. Let's dive into what is a money coach and why the heck would you need one? And what are the benefits? And I just want to emphasize what Maggie said. Please type your questions in the chat. No question is a dumb question. If you have it, there's probably half a dozen other women that have the same question. We are recording it, so it will also help women who are listening to this later. So please do not be timid in asking a question, because let me tell you, there is no judgment here. We are here together to learn and get clarity around our money. So let me dive in. Now, I'm probably starting from an angle you wouldn't expect, but I do want to define a financial advisor, because a financial advisor and a financial coach get confused a lot. And I want to make sure you understand the difference. A financial advisor is licensed to sell stocks, bonds, mutual funds, ETFs, all those words, jargon, but they have to have a license to do it. Some financial advisors, not all, but some may also be licensed to sell insurance products like life insurance, annuities, and long-term care insurance. In addition to that, financial advisors have to have continuing education to keep their license up to date, to make recommendations that are in line with what the client is requesting. A typical term that is kind of confusing is called a financial fiduciary. Not all financial advisors are fiduciaries. So it's a question, if you're looking for a financial advisor, make sure you ask them if they're a fiduciary, because that means that they are required by law to only recommend investments that are in alignment with your goals, irregardless of how they get paid. Huge distinction, because not all financial advisors and brokers and RIAs are fiduciary. So I only recommend that my clients hire financial advisors that are fiduciaries. Financial advisors get paid in two ways, either fee-based or commissions. Fee-based means it's a percentage of your invested assets, typically 1%. And I typically recommend clients don't hire anybody that's going to charge more than that unless they are offering a whole lot of additional services. A commission means they get paid for every transaction, every time they buy or sell in your account. I don't recommend commission-based because they can churn your portfolio, buy and sell more than is necessary. So that is some of what a financial advisor is. So now I want to transition and go into what a money coach is, or a financial coach, because that's why we're here today, right? So let me start with what is a money coach. Well, a money coach offers assistance to their clients in determining their behavioral and emotional components of managing money. A money coach can help you unearth what drives your financial decisions so you can create a healthier attitude that leads to better money habits. Now, I don't know if very many of you ever thought of a money coach as helping with emotional and behavioral attitudes. It's actually kind of a new side to money, and one that a lot of people don't actually understand, but it's a critical starting point when coaching clients on money. And the first step is to help a client define their money story. And did you know that your relationship with money starts very early in your life, actually as early as age 5 or 6 or 7? So it starts in the home, and it often isn't understood how that affects your spending and your budgeting habits. So let me share you my example, an abbreviation of my money story. So in my family, I was taught you work hard to make money. There's never enough money, and you don't spend it foolishly. Well, I translated this to mean work is always hard. The more I can make, the better. And if I spend it on something for myself, that's foolish. Well, once I understood what my money story was, I was able to translate it to make it meaningful to me where I am in my life. And so I reframed it. And this is what it is today. Work does not have to be hard. I can enjoy what I'm doing. I decide how much money I want to make, spend, and save, because I am in control of my finances. I can budget for pleasurable spending and not feel guilty. One of my pleasurable expenses is on flowers. I love flowers. I love beauty. And I realized that this was really important to me. And so I don't feel guilty when I buy flowers anymore, whether it's for inside, for my garden, for my flower pots. It gives me great joy. And this leads to a second area that money coaches should help their clients with, and that's defining your money values. You need to know your money values so you can set financial goals that are in alignment with your money values. Because if your financial goals are not in alignment with your money values, you will not succeed. You will be frustrated. You won't understand why you cannot follow through on your goals and succeed, or you will fall back into old money habits because they're not truly in alignment with your values. Values are what are important to us and what shape us. It's what we'll do almost anything for. So beauty is one of my values. Therefore, when I buy flowers, it's in alignment with one of my values. And I find great joy in it. I am not guilty. So when I am coaching with clients, when we start my exercise on helping my clients determine their money values, the question I ask, and you can ask yourself this, what's important about money to me? Keep in mind you answer it with a value word. So all that to say, a money coach helps clients determine their money story and their money values so they can set goals in alignment with those two things and find joy in and clarity and confidence in managing their money. So I want to stop right there and see if there's any questions on those two areas. And so I will be stopping periodically. So write your questions and we'll answer them as we're going. Maggie, are there any questions?
It doesn't look like there's any questions coming in yet. A lot of people are loving these perspectives that you have. I feel the same about buying flowers for myself. It's a nice little treat. And I know Dr. Barb, her favorite thing is always buying a fresh pair of socks. It's just those little things in life. Does anyone have any questions while we're here so far? It looks like you're doing great. I'll let you keep going.
Okay, I will.
Oh, not me, you.
So I want to continue. So when a money coach is working with clients, there's actually 3 levels of service that we can provide. One is just a quick answer. So if somebody asks me, should I open another credit card? If I ask them a couple probing questions to find out a little bit more information, I can usually give them an answer on the spot. And many times, including me, but many coaches will offer like a free discovery call. Maybe it's 15, 20 minutes. And that's the kind of thing that we can answer. It's a free service. It's a way of helping people just, make a quick financial decision, but the right one. The second level that we often offer is what I call guiding. And so this might require a little longer explanation. But it's usually a question, but we need to ask a few more questions to make sure we're offering the right answer or guiding in the right direction. So a question like this might be, I'm ready to buy a house and I want to know what is the best payment option for me. Well, we would ask questions like, how much do you have to put down for the house? What is your monthly budget for a mortgage payment? And a few more questions to help determine if, a 15-year fixed or a 30-year fixed, would be the best based on how much you have to put down and what your budget affords as far as your monthly mortgage payment. So that's a guiding area. You're not looking at the whole, at all of their finances, but it's targeted. And then the third and most common type of service that we offer is the guiding, coaching, mentoring that most people come to us for. And these are just bigger questions that require more than just a simple answer. And it could be questions like, how do I track my expenses and come up with a budget? I don't know where to start. I don't know how to do it. This takes usually couple appointments, and the coach offers tools and guidance. Another question might be, is my retirement on track? I get that one a lot. So usually the 2 questions a money coach typically gets the most is on, how do I track my expenses? How do I develop a budget? How do I pay off debt is a huge one. On the other end, it's how do I save for retirement? Am I on track for retirement? Or how do I save for like my kids' college education? That's another really big one. So those kind of questions require more than a simple, 20-minute conversation. When I am doing financial coaching or money coaching with my clients, and we're talking about how to put together their retirement goals and saving for the retirement, it many times takes 4, 5, or 6 appointments because you have to go into a great deal of detail. So, but those are the 3 levels of coaching. And the bottom line is when you're working with a money coach, I always say, we figure out where you are now, where you want to be. So if somebody wants to be out debt, okay, you've got debt now, you've got, 5 credit cards you want to pay off. Your goal is to be debt free. All right, so we know where you are now, we know where you want to be. So we have to come up with a roadmap to get you there. So that's what financial coaches do. We help you determine where you are, what steps you need to take to reach your goal. So that is the services, or that is the how a money coach works with you. The next topic is signs that you need a money coach. Any questions yet, Maggie?
Yes, we did have one question come up, and that is, how do you find a good financial manager?
Well, that is a perfect question, because that is what I'm going to go into in just a second. So I love the question, but if we can hold it for a second, I will address it after signs that you need a money coach. How's that?
That sounds great.
Okay.
Well, all right.
But thanks for whoever asked the question, because it's a good one. Okay, so signs that you need a money coach. And I have dealt with all these, let me tell you. Some personally, some through my clients. Number 1, overwhelmed with bills and procrastinate in opening your mail. I had a client who put her bills on top of the refrigerator so she did not have to see them or open them. I don't advise this at all, but this is a sign that you need a money coach. Maybe you have heart palpitations when you look at your bank balance. You need a money coach. Maybe you're paying bank overdraft fees and a lot of interest expenses because you're carrying balances on your credit cards. You probably need a money coach. Maybe you're not sure how much you need to have in savings or how to save without defaulting to using credit cards. It's another area we can help you. Maybe you don't understand investments and you want to know more about what is a stock, a bond, a mutual fund, and how do they work? And what do they have to do with me and my investments? I will tell you that's an area I coach in and educate women in. Not all money coaches are knowledgeable in that area, but I love educating in that area because obviously I used to do it. Maybe you want to know how much you need to save for retirement. Oh my gosh, that's like the question, what's my magic number? How much do I have to save for retirement? You work with a money coach. We can help you determine that because it's all individual. Maybe you want to save for a home down payment or your kids' college education or some other goal that you have. We can help you work through, look at your budget and help you figure out, how much do you need to save for that goal? And then where is it going to come from? Maybe you're considering a divorce and you want to plan for it financially, which I highly recommend, having gone through one myself. But this is an area that some money coaches can help you with, and there are some who have special designation to work in this area. But that's also another area that a money coach could definitely help you. Another one is, I've lost my spouse. They took care of the money. I have no clue where to start. And I have worked with several spouses. Actually, I was just coaching a young gal, 30, lost her husband, has 2 young kids. It's an area that takes great empathy, compassion, and having dealt with it in my family, it's an area that I can definitely speak to and help somebody who's lost a loved one. And it happens more often than you'd think. On the other end of the spectrum, I just inherited money and I want advice on how best to use it and build wealth. Another area, we're in the age where I'm a baby boomer. We are there's 10,000 people that are becoming baby boomers every day. And we actually are the wealthiest segment of the US population. And because of that, as we're passing on, our children are inheriting a great deal of wealth, and they are not used to managing millions of dollars. And so it's an area that a money coach can definitely help you put together a plan. And once again, it's very individual coaching. So those are all signs that you could use a money coach. And so I'm going to go into the next topic, but if there's any questions, keep typing them because the next one addresses the first question we had on what are tips for selecting a money coach? And I'm glad you asked. So first of all, I recommend looking at their experience. How long have they been coaching? What life events have they experienced themselves? Because I have to tell you, and you probably know this already, if you've gone through a life event, whether it's losing a loved one, whether it's going through a divorce, whether it's saving for kids' college education, when you've gone through that yourself, you have more empathy, compassion, you understand the psychology of what it was. And then, and I think that makes you a better money coach, along with, all the other things that come with it. But I think experience is huge. And along with that experience comes, what has been their professional experience. So I'm a CPA, I have my MBA in finance, I was a financial advisor, I've worked in corporate America, but I've also dealt with clients individually. That gives me a really well-rounded background to help my clients. So I would ask whoever you're talking to, what's their experience, both education-wise and experience-wise, life events, as well as professional experience. Look for reviews. So you should look on their website, see what reviews they have. They should have a Facebook or a LinkedIn profile and have reviews there. And then, so that, looking for reviews, seeing what kind of services they offer. Some money coaches focus in specific areas, so you need to know that. Like I mentioned earlier, some people are a designated divorce specialist. So if you're going through a divorce, that might be an area that you would want a specialist in, or somebody who's gone through it themselves and can help you. So look for reviews. And then I think it's really important that you feel like you can trust the person you're talking to. So you need to interview them, obviously. I recommend interviewing at least 2, if not 3. And I would ask yourself, does this coach resonate with me? Do I feel like I can be confident? Can I be upfront? Can I be honest? Do I feel like they're hearing me? And are they good listeners? And then communications, of course, listening is part of communication. Is it easy to talk to the money coach? Can you ask your questions without feeling judged? You don't want to work with somebody who's going to judge you because, too many times you already feel shame and guilt around, the fact that you've got, this many statements that haven't been opened. And last thing you want is somebody, shaming you because you haven't opened your statements. And then fees, you want to know how the money coach gets paid. So you need to ask, what are your fees? How do you get paid? Make sure you understand that. Is there a contract? Sometimes there is, sometimes there isn't. Flexibility, life happens. So how flexible is the money coach on rescheduling, given, that you have enough, that you've given them enough notice? And then the last thing I want to address, and then I want to address questions, is the outcome. In coaching, there are no guaranteed outcomes. I just want to lay it right on the line. The outcomes are dependent on hiring a money coach that you feel confident in, that you can trust, that you can be totally honest with, but it totally depends on your commitment to doing the hard work and to make changes and to reframe and to take the time to use the tools that a money coach recommends, to get on your calls, to follow through. So outcomes are totally dependent on the client, but with a good money coach, they're going to be a lot easier to obtain. So I know you've got questions, Maggie, so let's go.
Yeah, we'll let some questions roll in real quick. I really love your point about the communication and trust factor. We hear so many women just, they don't even look at me when I, do these big payments, or, maybe you always dreamed of starting a business and everyone else kind of laughed, and you want someone who's really there to support you. And, that's such a big thing that many people almost pass over because it's not always expected in the industry, and that's really something we want to change as well. So I really just wanted to hone in on that point because I think it's really great, and women really need, we're all about that trust factor and, talking to your girlfriends and things like that. Let me see if any questions are coming in. One says, where would you start looking for a good financial coach?
Well,
we recommend
great resources, Purse Strings. So let's take a look at what who's the professionals that you've already vetted, because that's really what you've done. Is a great source. So I would say start there. And I mean, you can always you can Google it, financial coaches. But I would say, talk to people who've had good experiences. I mean, isn't that what we do? We talk to our hairdresser. Well, assuming you can still go to a hairdresser, but we talk to our girlfriends. I mean, I was on a Zoom call last night with 4 of my best girlfriends, and we were talking, and a couple things came up, and it was like, oh, I want that, or oh, send me that link, or I want to know more about that. So girlfriends are a great resource. So I would say Purse Strings, things like this are a great opportunity to get started. And in Facebook too, there's a lot going on right now, of course, with more Zoom calls and things like that. So hop on calls and see who you're resonating with. It's another great resource. And there are a lot of groups out there. I think what is it? Females in Finance is another great group that really encourages women. Look on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is another great resource. And I would start there.
It sounds great. I just want to throw Dr. Barb in, see if you had anything else to add on this one.
Well, I am so loving the information you're providing, Linda. I think when we imagined Purse Strings, this is exactly what we are looking for. We're looking for respected professionals in the industry who can provide this type of information to women as they navigate their lives. And we know a money coach can be hired by anyone, coming out of college with some student loans, through anything, getting married and preparing a budget together, perhaps with a spouse, or even, like you said, heading into retirement. So money coaches, financial coaches, they're kind of a new entree into the financial arena. There's so many different types of professionals, and you're one of many we love to offer to our group of women as a Purse Strings approved professional. So thank you, Linda. The information is wonderful.
Oh, good. I'm glad it's resonating.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we have any other questions going right now. It's great information. I'll let you keep going.
Okay. Actually, I want to come back and I want to address the comment that you made, Maggie, about communication. So let me give you a personal example. Now, this has to do with me and my financial advisor, who I obviously don't have anymore. But let me tell you about that experience that I had, because I think this drives home the point about communication. I went in for my annual, appointment with my financial advisor, because that's what we're supposed to do. And, I had my statements and I had them spread out and I had my questions. And you're right. He was talking. I have to go the opposite way. He was talking and I was listening, but he wasn't looking me in the eyes. He was looking down at my papers, number one. Number two, I was being polite, and women do this. And so I was nodding my head, yes, I'm hearing you. That doesn't mean I understand you. And when I did volunteer a question when I had the courage to ask a question, and he shut me off and couldn't answer the question. And then when I answered it again, and I had just to lay the groundwork, I had my hands out on his desk. Of course, we were sitting across dark mahogany desk and very masculine. And he leans over and he puts his hand on mine, which is a big no-no. He puts his hand on mine and he goes, "Honey, as long as you do what I tell you to do with your money, you will be fine." Well, that didn't go over real big. So I pulled my hand back. I gathered my papers and I stood up, shook his hand and left, and I never graced his office with my presence again. Well, all that to say, he was talking. He didn't make eye contact, like you said, Maggie. No eye contact. No understanding of where I was coming from. All he talked about was the numbers. Well, numbers are numbers. But he didn't understand my point of view. And he didn't try to understand my point of view. He never asked me probing questions, which he should have. And because I was shaking my head yes, he took that to mean I understood what he was saying and I was in agreement, which is not the case. And I'll give you another example. So anyway, all that to say, that's why I became a financial advisor, because I didn't want to have another woman go through that horrible experience. I felt so judged. But when I was a financial advisor, so I made a real point of not doing that. But I will tell you, women they want to be polite. That's how we're brought up. We're supposed to be polite. We don't rock the boat. And so when I was talking with women, number one, I didn't always sit across the desk. I would bring my chair around so that we were together. We were a team and we were looking at her information together. Secondly, as I was talking to her, we would kind of, face each other and we would have a conversation. And I never wanted it to be, I never wanted to talk down to anybody. And I think that's what you need to look at when you're talking to either a money coach or a financial advisor. If they're talking down to you, it's not the right person. You need to be on the same level. But when people are nodding their head or women are nodding their head, that's often misunderstood for I understand what you're saying. No, it's I'm being polite. I don't want to interrupt, but so don't be afraid to ask questions. And as you're asking questions, if a money coach can't answer you, or if they brush you off, or if, like I said, you're feeling judgment, that's not the right person for you. So I don't mean to belabor the point, but I just want to say communication is critical, because if you don't have good communication, you're not going to get the outcomes you desire. Okay, I'll get off my soapbox on that. I wanted to go on to what to expect from working with a money coach, because this is a big deal. I mean, if you're going to go hire a money coach and you're paying money, what are the benefits? What are the outcomes that you can expect? And it will depend on, your specific situation. But here are some that I've dealt with many times with my clients. So one question, one that comes up a lot is, why do I keep going into debt? I paid off my credit cards, but I'm using them again and I'm right back in debt. What's happening? Well, the first place a good money coach should start is, what is your money story? Let's talk about your money relationship. What's your money story? How did it develop? What are you translating that to be? What are your money values? If you don't understand your money values, you're not going to make goals in alignment with what your values actually are. And that's probably the case, is you don't know what your money values are, so you're not making realistic goals, and you're falling back into debting. And there's another. Well, I work with clients and so that we don't go back, so they don't go back into debt. But that's what you should expect. And then, the coach should give you tools. He or she should be mentoring you, giving you not only encouragement, but tools and tips on how to get out of debt, but then how to stay out of debt. And of course, you should be saving money. If you're staying out of debt, you're not paying interest card expense, so you're saving money. So what is another outcome that you can expect from a situation? Where's my money going, and how do I create a budget? I get that a ton. And it's a good one. And I love it when young people ask this question, because then that gives you plenty of time to get on the right path and stay on the right path the rest of your life. Of course, you should learn, coach should help you with how to track your expenses. What does it mean? Of course, this is after you've gone through your money story and your values. So to me, that's critical. I don't care what kind of coaching you get, you need to start with those two. Then you move on to, how do I track my expenses? What does that mean? What does it look like? What tools? What apps are available? How do you use them? And then once you've tracked your expenses, then how do you put together a budget? Well, a money coach should be able to, once again, show you how to put together a budget. And once again, these are all tailored for you. I don't believe in a cookie cutter. Everything I do is tailored to the individual, because no two people are exactly alike when it comes to individuals, to their psychology, or to their money situation. And so, working with a money coach on how do you set up a budget, I know a very common basic framework is what we call the 50-30-20 rule. 50% of your income is for your needs, 30% goes for wants, and 20% goes to the future you. Excuse me. And then you break that down for how to apply it to you individually. But that would be an outcome. And then, of course, as a result of that, you're tracking, you've got your budget, and then you've started saving. So you're saving money. You don't have bank overdrafts. You're not paying credit card fees, and you're saving for your goals. Let's see. What is another area of what you can expect? What is an emergency fund, and do I need one? I get this often. First of all, I can, this is one of those easy answers. Yes, you need an emergency fund. My clients who had their 6-month to 1 year emergency fund this last year thanked me. I got many thank yous on that one, because they were laid off. They maybe didn't have income for a couple of months. They did not have to go to credit cards. They actually had their emergency savings account. And that's what it's for. When you lose your job, off on disability, the money is there so you don't panic and start using your credit cards again. So what does this do? This peace of mind. Oh my gosh. If they didn't have to use their credit cards and they didn't have to dip into their other savings account, but they had their emergency fund, total peace of mind. And they didn't use their credit cards, so they weren't paying interest expense. What is the best way to pay off my debt? I get this one a lot. And there are different ways. So once again, you start with your money story, your money values, and then you talk about the methods available to pay off your debt and what makes sense for you. The money coach will look at your budget. If you haven't tracked your expenses and don't have a budget, you got to start there, because we got to know how much, where is your money going in order to help you put a plan together to how to pay off your debt. So you save money by reducing your interest card expense. How much do I need to save for retirement? Oh my gosh, huge question. I get and the good part is I get this question from women of all ages. And I am so thankful for 25-year-olds who get their first job and say, I don't know how to save for retirement, but I know I'm supposed to. Great question. Let me help you. Same thing. Money story, money values, look at your budget. We can figure it out. What you should come away with when you're working with a money coach on how much do I need to save for retirement is a bottom line, and this can take more than 1 or 2 coaching sessions. They'll probably take 3 or 4, is I need to save so many dollars per month for X number of years. That's how specific some of your outcomes should be. How do I plan for divorce? I've worked with many clients on this one. It's very specific. If you're thinking about a divorce, you need to get all your statements for your assets together. I work with your divorce attorney if you've already engaged one, and we come up with a plan. But the basic outline is you need to know what your assets are so you know how your property is going to be divided. And the most important part is so you know what your income is going to be when you're on your own. And that's a huge, huge outcome and peace of mind for women who are going through divorces, so they know what they can afford when that divorce is final. Here's one for business owners and for individuals. What's the difference between a 401k, an IRA, a Roth IRA, a SEP, which is a self-employment pension plan, a simple IRA, an HSA, which is a health savings account? And should I be which one should I be opening? I don't even know which one applies to me. Well, given my background, that's an area that I help both individuals, entrepreneurs, and small business owners in. And so we define them. We take a look at where they're at, how they're saving for the retirement, what they have so far, and put a plan together to help them save for retirement or healthcare, and determine how much they can put away on a monthly basis. But bottom line, so here's the bottom line on that. Coaching clients is unique. Every client has a unique need. And so that's why I say there's no cookie cutter approach. At least in my book, there's no cookie cutter approach. We develop a specialized and individualized roadmap to help you decide where you're at, figure out where you're at, where you want to be, and then we'll help put in the steps, help you put in play the steps to obtain that goal. And like I said before, outcomes are dependent on the client, the commitment, and what they're willing to do, but also making sure they've got the right communication with their financial coach. So that was on the benefit. And, I want to kind of address the elephant in the room because, the cost. How much does this cost me? So let's talk about that. I have to say, I think you get what you pay for. So when you're hiring a money coach, if this person has more experience, has more education, and has been coaching longer, you should expect to pay more. So I would say, and this is just average, I've seen money coaches for as $99 an hour, and I've seen money coaches charge $250 an hour and more. And I'll tell you, I'm right in the middle. I charge $150 an hour. There you go. It's out in the open. But I'm worth it. And I'm worth it because of my experience and my education. And you're worth it because you will benefit in reduced interest expense, reduced overdraft fees. And I think the most important thing my clients get from it are peace of mind, security, they get clarity, they have confidence in their money. And when you have clarity and confidence around your money and your finances, you're empowered. And that spills over into every other aspect of your life. Because when there's an empowered woman, she makes a difference in her family, in her community, and in the world. And so that's my my take on costs and fees. And I think and we're definitely worth it because you benefit. So Maggie, any more questions?
Linda, that was fantastic. I love that you actually brought up real numbers that people, can really play with. And, it does add up to be a better deal than, paying all your late fees and overdraft fees and everything else. I mean, you got to spend money to save money. It's crazy, but it's true.
Yeah.
We do have a question, and that's how long do people usually use a financial coach? Is this a lifetime thing, or how long should I go for?
Well, that's a great question. So it depends on why you're coming to the money coach initially, and like I said, some things an hour might take care of it. Bigger questions like how much do I need to save for retirement? I typically work anywhere from 4 to 6 1-hour sessions with my clients to answer that because of the depth that we go into. And then follow-up is up to, however you want to structure the relationship with your money coach. I have many clients, and I always say this. I said, if something comes up in the future, I'm here for a half an hour, a 1 hour, and you feel free to email me. And so, but that's me. That's how I structure it with my clients. So I just had a client that I don't think I had talked to her in probably 2 years. And she just emailed me. She goes, hey, I want to have a 1-hour session. And I want to talk about my Roth IRA and my investments and stuff like that. I'm like, great. So we scheduled it, and she hopped on, and she paid for my 1 hour, and it was a great conversation. And she had a lot more clarity, and she knew how she wanted to invest for going forward. And so I think that's often the case. So I think it depends, but I'd say anywhere from 1 hour to 6 hours, depending on your initial question, and then from there, hopefully you have a good rapport with your money coach, and so you feel comfortable reaching out to them and asking a question. And honestly, I mean, if it's a really simple question, I'm just going to answer in an email. I mean, it's not a big deal. And then I think staying in touch, because like I have a monthly newsletter, and so I'm always putting things in there. So I think it's just continue education and reading blogs and stuff like that. So, hopefully it's a good relationship and you continue it, but maybe on a less structured way.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, sometimes you just gotta get back on the track.
Absolutely. An annual checkup is perfectly okay.
Linda, I can't thank you enough for providing your wisdom and your expertise today for Purse Strings and for all of the women and men who have joined us today and will watch this in the future. And it's just a great example of how at Purse Strings we're providing excellent resources that provide such rich information. And it shows how we're really challenging women to take the time to attend these sessions, to share them with their other loved ones who really need this help, and also to invest in yourself, both in time and in the money that it takes to make sure that you are set for a financial future. Maggie and I say no more to these women who are 65 or in their retirement ages and trying to, Band-Aid different jobs together to pay their bills. We're going to put a stop to that through Purse Strings. We're going to really empower women by providing these excellent resources. So thank you. And for all of you ladies and men out there, I would love your feedback on how this went for you today. Also, other topics you're interested in. But I'm going to turn it over to Maggie. So Maggie, you can share what's up and coming.
Yeah. So after the session, we will be posting what we like to call a step-by-step. So that's going to be a little overview of everything Linda has said, and it's a downloadable sheet that you have. So you have a nice handout of, what you need to know when you're looking for a financial coach and what are some of the signs that you can use a financial coach. So that way you always have this extra little tool in your pocket to keep you going. And so, yes, we will be here every Thursday, same time, same place. And next week, we'll be talking about things you need to know to start your side hustle. So we have a really good friend from Chicago who will be doing that for us. And, that's another great way to make some income or just to get started on kind of your dream thing that you've been working on, So we're very excited for that. So we'd love you guys to come and tune back in next week on Thursday.
I think that's a great topic, Maggie, because I have to tell you, this pandemic has hit, especially young women, very difficult. It's really shocking to me what difficulty young women, especially Black and Latinx. I mean, that's who we have seen. I'm sorry, I just have to. 145,000 jobs were lost in December.
Yep.
Black and Latinx women. I think that is abhorrent. And so I'm so glad that you're going to help educate on how to do that side hustle. It's really needed. Thank you.
Agreed. Yeah, it's the numbers have been overwhelming and saddening at how many women have had to leave the workforce due to COVID. Yes. Another great reason that Purse Strings is here for those women to help arm them with information and skills. And we're so blessed to have Jessica come next week and teach all about starting a side hustle, whether it's a passion project that you have or whether it's to make some extra money. She's going to talk all about it, so I don't want to steal her thunder.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for everyone for joining us today. Thank you very much, Linda, for sharing all your great information and being one of our Purse Strings approved providers. You can always reach out to Linda at her website, lindalingo.com, or her email address, linda@lindalingo.com. She's also has a webpage on Purse Strings, and she is also on Instagram. I love your name. What is it? Mama
Money Mama Mentor.
I love that. I love mommy, mom.
Money Mama Mentor. I know. My daughter,
Yeah.
she goes, you need something, young for Instagram. I'm like, okay, you come up with it. So, but I love it.
Got some great shout outs on there too. So thank you so much for everyone joining today. And we'll talk to you guys soon. Bye. Thank you.
See you next week. Bye.
Bye-bye.